Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I will be continuing my Building Newcrest series where we take all of the empty lots on Newcrest and build it into a playable town. So without further ado, subscribe if you enjoy and let's get into the video.
All right, so in this episode, we are going to be building a nice, big, family-friendly park. There's quite a bit of trial and error in this one. I have never built a park before. I do think this one turned out okay, though, so hopefully. So these builds from the series will all be available on the gallery at my gallery ID Livy2654. That will also be in the description, so you can check out any of these builds that you want to see or download for yourself. So I decided to put a fence around this, almost like the Sunset Valley Park in Sims 3. Here I'm going through and counting to make sure the gaps are all exactly the size that I want them to be. And then I wanted to have a stone path coming from each end, kind of crossing in the middle. And once I got this down, I kind of had the idea of doing a rounded platform in this center area that I would raise up so that we could have something on it. At this point, I didn't know what that something was going to be, but just knew that wanted something there. This is going to be uneven to start, and then I do fix it and make it even. It starts out not even, and I figure out how to fix it. So it's a nice little oval-y shape. I just didn't want it to be a harsh square. For a foundation on it, I just put the black platform trim and then carried the stone up onto the top of it. Now, this is where I started looking for a fountain for the first time, and I found that tiny one. I did not want to make my own fountain. I knew that they had huge ones. I had no clue where they were. This was not working out for me trying to make my custom shaped one, so I ended up just moving on and building the bathrooms instead and just pretending that that didn't happen. So, since the bathrooms are a requirement for a park, I kind of wanted to just make them small and like blend in a little bit, you know? So, I made like a little hut to be the bathrooms. I just put some nice little green siding on it, keep the nice earthy feel, and put on those good old bathroom doors. Lit it up in there, and then was trying to decide what I wanted the flooring to be in there. I thought about a stone floor, but then I thought for most public bathrooms, a tile is much more realistic. But I wanted to keep the more earthy tones, so I went with that more terracotta-looking tile. And then moving on to the walls, I was trying to find a tile that did not look completely weird or out of place, and I ended up settling on that one, which is actually, I think, the same one I used for the cafe bathroom, but we're just gonna glaze over the fact that I repeat the same items in almost every build. These are a couple of my go-to bathroom sinks and toilets. They look pretty standard. I added a cute little soap on each one, each in a little different color, to make it a little fun. Spice it up a little bit, not a ton. I mean, it's a public bathroom at a park. You're not going to spend that much time in there. So here I am looking for something to put on the wall. So I sized down these fitness paintings and picked different swatches of them. I did realize as I was doing this that I put things on one wall there, and then the opposite wall is still blank in front of the toilet. Being completely honest, I don't care. It's fine. It's decorated enough in there for a little bathroom. So now I'm landscaping around it to just make it look a little more spruced up in this corner. Obviously, it is a park, so there's quite a bit of nature in this. That's where I stopped it over there for now. I go back in the end and I landscape kind of around everything all at once. So, we're back to looking for a fountain. This took me an embarrassingly long time, and I actually ended up doing a different idea before I put the fountain in, because it should be coming up here. I found this sculpture that I really like. I have used it before, and I kind of liked how it made a circle-y shape, and I was going to put something in the middle, but then I found the fountain that I had been looking for. So I popped that in the middle. This is one of the ones that I had in mind that I was actually looking for. Turned the camera and realized that it was not in the middle at all. But now we have the big fountain, and these curved couches actually ended up working out surprisingly well on the corners. I know in reality, if those were outside, they would probably get all gross and everything, but this is The Sims. It doesn't have to be realistic. I picked a darker swatch for them just because I didn't want them to stand out too much, because they're not, like, it's a park. It's not about your little couches by the fountain. So, over in this corner, I decided to segment off the park into, like, different sections. So this one's more of like a skill building section where first I am putting down some chess tables because those are a requirement for a park lot. Personally, I've never been to a park with chess tables, but maybe that's just me, but The Sims requires them. So finding a chair for these was more of a process than it should have been, I will admit. It took me quite a bit of time. I remember scrolling through this catalog, looking at so many chairs, trying to find one that I liked with these chess tables. I normally don't use these chess tables in particular, so I had no idea what chairs to use. I started with these ones, and I thought that they would grow on me, but obviously they didn't because I just deleted all of them. And I switched it up a little bit. I tried to find some ones that would match better and ended up going with these metal ones, and those worked much better when I switched the swatch of the chess tables up a little bit too, so now they're brown instead of black. And for all that extra space, I decided to put some yoga mats out, and this was, in my defense, my first time using this pack, so they're all instructors mats, but I think you can still just practice yoga on them regardless, so it should be fine. If you really care that much, you could switch them out if you want to. So I put some little easels in the corner as well, since that's more of the relaxed half. You're just kind of chilling over there, doing your skill building. I went to check the requirements. I wanted to see if that outdoor sofa counted as a bench. It does not, because it's not a bench, obviously. So I went with this more classic park bench, but like the fancier version. And these are very predictably placed. They are just equally spaced on all of the sides because I wanted it to be symmetrical. So there's quite a few benches. There's a lot of places for your Sims to sit. And as we go on, you'll see there's also a lot of things for them to do. So this area was made to be the little like family hangout, like picnic area. So this is also where I realized that I should probably put some trash cans on the lot so that rotting hot dogs and such don't just build up. In the little skill corner, there wasn't room for one, but I don't think there needs to be a trash can over there regardless. I wanted to use these tables because I think they're very cute. Nice little pop-up tables seemed perfect for a park. And then I realized that chairs do not snap to them, which was unfortunate. So I started looking for some alternatives until I refound these little chairs and decided to just place them by the tables regardless and match them up to the color of the tables, which I like more than I would admit. So we have bunnies, frogs, and bears for all of the different colors. And then I did end up sticking some picnic tables in front of the grills just so that the Sims had actual places to sit and eat. And those ones even have little cushions on the seats. So fancy. Naturally, right across from the little family cookout area is the kids area. So this is where all of the playground equipment is. There's a couple game tables that I'm placing down right now as well. So found some pretty basic chairs to go around these. And this playground area has equipment for both toddlers and children, so that Sims of all ages can have a grand old time at this park. I stuck some monkey bars in that corner. I thought about putting a slip and slide in, but then realized I should probably get the biggest one in, which I decided to go with the pirate ship for this park. Then I came across the wishing well and got distracted and jumped back over to the bathrooms where I decided to put the fish pond and wishing well in front of it to kind of honestly fill up some space with some more things that are technically activities. I stuck a ball pit and a little slide out there for the toddlers so that they can have fun at the park too, because I feel like a lot of times if you take your toddlers out of the house, it's just a process. They get mad, they can't do anything, so I gave them something to do. Now we're going back through and I am landscaping this whole thing all at once, which in hindsight was a bit of a task that I probably didn't have to give to myself all at once. But I started getting an idea for all of the entrances when I found the flower hedges from Island Living. So I covered up the fence post with them a little bit, but oh yeah, looked at that cool plant, thought it was very interesting. Just started putting some random ferns. I just kind of wanted to fill the space and make it look a little more busy and landscaped, considering this is a park. I wanted it to look nice. I did the exact same thing at the entrances and exits of each of these. They're all pretty much identical. I think I alternate between using the low-lying yellow flowers and the low-lying blue flowers though, so there's where you get your variety. It just changes color. Around this raised platform, I did do the same thing all the way around. I kind of just wanted this to look consistent since it's kind of a focal point of the park. I wanted it to look a little fancy and lined so that when people went up there, you could feel all highfalutin and stuff about it. So this is identical all the way around. Things don't clip too badly, and I thought it ended up looking really nice. Here's where this started as an accident. I was planning on using the same thing on each side, but then I accidentally picked up the blue flowers instead of the yellow ones and liked them. So this is where the whole alternating idea starts. I did like that some of the plants went into the path a little bit, making it look a little overgrown, even though it is like a public park. I like that the nature is still very much there. So we have this color of flowers back. I'm trying not to make the benches not functional, but I think I kept things far enough away from them. And now we do the same thing once again, this time with the blue flowers on the last area here. These debug landscaping items really came in handy. I added some more flowers on a couple of the sides, so there is a bit of variety in there. I think it overall looks very cute. And now we're going in with trees. One of the final parts of this is putting little trees in. I think this ended up looking very cute. I tried to keep the trees minimal because a lot of times in my builds I overdo it with the trees. And I look at it later and they're just everywhere. And I don't even know how they got there. So I sized some down to make them a little less noticeable too. And then I just tried to find one to put in that final spot there. Now I'm going to go around with the terrain paint and make everything look a little more realistic and like things are actually growing there. Like things might have been walked on a little bit, stuff like that. So, yeah. There's not too much more to this build. I just go around with the terrain paint all the way around. I think it ended up looking very, very nice. There we go. We're getting close. We're almost done. There, this is the final little side, and then we just take you on a little oversight of this park through each of the different sections. So, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.